ago. So what happened? Cottonwood. Whose pit was that? Arthur Scargill's. Surely if on a strike, pick the president's pit. That's what they did. They picked Cottonwood. There's worse pits in Wales. You take it from me, there was worse pits in Wales. They picked Arthur's pit. When people say that Arthur caused their own downfall, rubbish. We were targeted. They had to take us out. They weren't scared of anybody else. Yeah, they were scared of the TNG then. And there's other great unions out there. Great unions. The nurses' union. Not so much higher up, but the nurses' staff. Fantastic union. I think it was COSI. Incredible union. The Triple Alliance in South Wales was COSI, the dockers, and miners. That was our Triple Alliance. Wherever we went to pick lines, that's where we went. Always together. So, that was it. Yorkshire voted out on strike. I went to a conference in South Wales. Now the problem was, there was a lot of talk going on now. When we came out on strike in 81, remember the 5 pits in South Wales were threatened? We came out on strike. We won that. We threatened to go on strike. 7 days, she ended it. Thatcher said, that's it. We give in to the miners. She knew she couldn't take us on then. I went to a conference in Cardiff. I got up and said, oh, we've got to look what she's given us in the basket. We've got to concede, go back to work. I said, look under the basket. There's a big hole in it. I said, everything you put in the top will drop out the bottom. Don't go back to work. We went back to work. And that evening, Yorkshire, Scotland, this is when South Wales was out on strike. Yorkshire, Scotland, Kent, waiting to come up with us. If we'd stayed out that Friday, we'd have been going into a full-blown strike. And I believe she could not have held us in 81. We would have beaten her, right? And that would have stopped her forever, I believe. Anyway, we didn't. We accepted that. Of course, some of the miners remember this now. They say, I remember we went on a strike. Yorkshire didn't come out with us. I said, don't be silly. They were ready to come out. No, they didn't. We blew the bugles for a week. But workers will always find an excuse. Or the union officials will. Take it from me. Right? So if they can find an excuse now, anyway, we had a vote. In the conference, 9 pits voted to come on strike. About 15 pits, 16 pits voted not to go on strike. So technically, South Wales wasn't going to join them. I went home that day, and I'll have to speed up now. I went home that night, and I thought, I can't believe this. We had voted in Tower 100% to go on strike. So I met the men in the morning, see? I mean, it's great. I could meet the night shift, get the pit at 6. As they come up the pit on the bar, I can meet them. 110 men. Day shift coming to work, 200 odd men. I can meet them. The manager never stopped me. You know, they didn't have the courage to stop us anyway. So I had my mandate to go on strike. So anyway, some people got no, I can't, sorry, we can't vote for strike action. We haven't met the men. But we knew it was coming. Yorkshire had been out for a blinking week. So I didn't have a mandate. Anyway, so I got home that night. I phoned the president, Emily Williams. I said, I can't accept this. I said, the men want to go on strike. Don't we're not in conference, we were all officials. The men want to go on strike. Oh, I said, I'm going to organise my own picket. He said, don't you like Tyrone? Don't tell me. And that's his words to me. But I said, give me the phone number of Kim Hours. Right? Because Kim was the organiser, wasn't he? He knew where the funny thing was, I didn't know where our pits were. We weren't allowed out our area, see? They never put a manager from the west up with us, or we didn't go down there. We kept us apart, except for conferences. So we met on a Saturday morning. I asked these other pits, Mardy, Trevorgan, there was a Trelew Street. I said, come and meet me over in Herwine that morning. So they all came, union officials. I said, look, I'd spoken to the president, but I can't tell him. But I want to organise a picket. We all should go picketing on Monday. The pits had voted not to come out. We all agreed. I said, right, go home now, see if we can fill a bus. Kim will organise the buses for us. Fill a bus. If you can, come back to me Sunday morning. We met again now and so I said, yeah, we've all filled buses, Tyrone. Right, we're away. We had my stake, St. John's. My stake boys in there. That's right. You come out straight away. I got to say that, right? But Phil White and Charlie, remember Charlie White? Incredible guy. They already said to me, come to our pit, eh? We're ready to come out. Right? So we went to my stake and moved the wheel there. Anyway, over we go. We only stood on the front gates, all the men joined us. Each of the other 7 pits had the same response. Here we are, not 7 pits, now we're 14 pits out on strike. By the end of the week, every pit in South Wales had come out on strike. We called a conference on the following Friday, and everybody had a vote in the conference. So South Wales had now had a ballot, and we were going out on strike as well. And that happened in Scotland, Yorkshire, didn't happen in North Wales. So, where did we go first week? Up to North Wales. We got them out. Incredibly, we got them out. And thank God, I think one of them stayed out all the way through. Right? The next, I looked up to Littleton, up in Staffordshire. Right? I always remember. I'll tell you this, a good story. So, and in Tower, we always fill 2 buses. Incredibly. You know, you could talk about your others want to, your Mardis who fill the minibus, or anybody else. In Tower, 114 people out every morning, wherever we went, right? So we got to Littleton, big pit, Midlands, didn't want to come on straight. So we drove the bus straight onto the yard, jumped out straight in the canteen, all the men are sitting down having a cup of coffee, we're going on the ground and having a fag. Then I said, look, we're up from South Wales, jumped up on the canteen, listen, come and join us, look, here we are, South Wales, out on strike, come with us. Yes, we're out. A huge pit, something like 800 workers. There's 400 on day shift. They come out. Anyway, the manager came in, our little guy. He come tumbling into the room. He said, "Hey, what's wrong here?" I said, "Let's be on this pit." I said, "It's no bad." Right? So I don't speak Welsh, so practice, right? I said, "Look, these boys want to come out." I said, "It's not just me." What you've done is wrong. I said, "It's never wrong," but I said, "I'll take your point." I said, "Would you promise not to come back this afternoon?" I wouldn't, would I? I give my word. We celebrate breakfast. We give all a breakfast. We all sit down talking, "How do you do? Nice to see you." Won't you again today? We're like, "No, never. Thank you very much." So we leave the pit waving, isn't it? We go about a mile away. We knew that when she'd come in at 1. We gave them 10 minutes, they're all driving in their cars, wondering what's happening. In we come with the bus again, straight outside the canteen, up in the canteen again. Oh, this manager come running in. You promised me! I said, "It's no bad, I'm sorry." Right? We pulled the afternoon shift out. Now I believe Littleton and the other pit stayed out. I don't think they stayed out the whole time. But we had them out, and I believe if we could have stayed there, we would have kept them out. But we couldn't, we had to go elsewhere. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, don't forget why the strike came about. Nothing at all to do with pit closures. Nothing at all. It has to do with the power of working people, especially a group of people who were internationalists and just didn't believe in helping their own. They believed in spreading that net and making a difference. So there'll be time for questions after, and I don't mind answering any of that. Let me just say to you, in the October that year, NACUDS, the safety union, had said they'd come out on strike. And then the decision was to be taken in the October. And incredibly, right, they were bought off. They were given pensions, retired at 50 with full pensions. Their pensions doubled, they had more coal, they were bought off. A tragedy. My father was a NACUDS man, but they were bought off. What a tragedy. Because even Thatcher and McGregor have said, in October, if NACUDS had come out, the strike would have been won by the whiteness. So that's how close we got. The strike would have been won. What they couldn't have foreseen was to lose all the pits straight away, because they were burning 56 million tons of coal. So even she didn't want every pit in Britain to close. Now, if we pulled the safety men out, those pits would have gone. 50-60% would have gone. I'm not saying we would allow that to happen. But the threat alone, if NACUDS had come out, they couldn't cover them with the management. And every pit would have been threatened. The strike was won that day, but NACUDS didn't come out. What NACUDS did do was agreed to the new colliery review procedure. And this is another crucial point. This is what Kinnock let us down. Right, I will finish then. Right? Come backwards now. Right? We were called into this ACAS meeting. Not me personally, I was doing an official down in South Wales.